Today I am making 4 pounds of soap. Two 2-pound batches is what it will be ultimately. Each batch will be a slightly different recipe. And then I'm splitting each batch into separate batches, so there will be literally 4 1-pound batches of soap. But I'm using 4 Pringles cans, 4 round soaps we're making. I already cut the bottom out of it. And you just use a can opener to cut this open, like you're opening a can of beans. 4 different fragrances, 2 different recipes. I'll go into detail as we make the soap. Well, this isn't usually how I start my soap videos, showing the lye portion of it, but we've got coffee ice cubes here. I brewed this coffee a while ago and froze it, and I just need to clean out my freezer, I guess you could say. So here we're adding the lye. I'm going to real time show you the process of making lye, coffee lye, I guess, and showing you how fast the heat, the chemical heat reaction melts ice. It's quite remarkable and slightly frightening how hot something that's not hot gets. Chemicals are kind of a frightening thing. Well, while this goes on, I thought I would talk a little bit about coffee and soap, and then talk about coffee in general. Clearly I wasn't talking while actually making the soap today. So coffee and soap. I actually have mentioned some of this already. I think in the last video I talked about this, but there's going to be extras today because I think my video is a little bit longer today. Disclaimer, as usual, in case this is your first time watching one of my videos, which I highly doubt it, but it's always possible. The only claim you can be making on your handmade soap, and I'd say any company making their soap, it's the only thing you can say, yes, it will do this for you, is clean you. It will clean the dirt off of your hands and off of your feet and your face and all of your other body parts. It will clean you, yes. But to keep things interesting, we sometimes like to add unique ingredients. And any benefits that you add along with these unique ingredients are not proven. They are more of a it could, it may, it can type thing. So, coffee and soap. Will it do something for you? Maybe. And that's as deep as I can get with that. Claims that have been made, but none that have been proven, because I don't know how much it takes to prove something. Maybe it takes 50 years or 100 years, I don't know. Coffee and soap may help lighten scars and blemishes on your skin because of the caffeine, which can help with cell renewal. Coffee has loads of antioxidants, which can stimulate circulation, which can help lessen the appearance of cellulite. And coffee can help reduce puffiness on the face, and it can help brighten the skin. All those things sound very, very lovely. And those are all things that I want. Now, for fun, I thought we'd talk about drinking coffee. First, I was going to ask, do you drink coffee? And do you drink it black, or do you add milk and sugar or creamer, or how do you like your coffee? I've learned to drink it black. When I first started drinking coffee, it had to have creamer, but I've learned to drink it black. Now, coffee contains caffeine, if you didn't know that. And caffeine stimulates your central nervous system, which is known for its ability to fight fatigue and increase energy. The reason why this is because caffeine increases levels of neurotransmitters in your brain that regulate your energy levels, including dopamine. There's even been research suggesting that consuming coffee regularly can be associated with decreasing the risk of type 2 diabetes over long term. And this is thought to be because the coffee's ability to preserve the function of the beta cells in your pancreas, which are also responsible for producing insulin to regulate blood sugar levels. Plus, coffee, as I said earlier, is rich in antioxidants, which may affect insulin sensitivity, inflammation, and metabolism. And all of those things are involved in the development of type 2 diabetes, so that could be true, huh? Though this isn't proven and there's some mixed results, there have been studies where researchers suggest that coffee might help against neurodegenerative disorders, which would include things like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. Now that would be incredible if coffee could help reduce those risks. In addition to that, there's been several studies that have demonstrated that moderate coffee consumption could be associated with a lower risk of dementia and cognitive decline. And according to some other research, coffee could alter fat storage and support gut health, both of which may benefit weight management. That's what I need. Over several studies, they have found that higher coffee consumption can be associated with decreased body fat. And just the fact that caffeine gives you more energy, which helps encourage you to just simply move more. Moving, physical activity, helps promote weight management. Yes, so that makes sense. And in other studies, they have found that drinking coffee could be associated with a lower risk of depression. Well, that's good. And interestingly, several studies have suggested that coffee could support liver health and protect against disease. Drinking more than 2 cups a day was linked to lower rates of liver scarring and liver cancer in people with liver disease. And the more coffee people drank, the lower their risk of death from chronic liver disease. And some research shows that drinking coffee may benefit your heart and lower your risk for a stroke and decrease your risk of heart failure. But you have to keep in mind that caffeine can also affect your blood pressure. Therefore, people with unmanaged blood pressure may need to limit or moderate their caffeine. So let's go ahead and add this coffee lye to our oils. This particular recipe is labeled as my vegan batch, but this isn't my only recipe that I've made that doesn't have lard in it. The oils in this batch is olive oil, coconut oil, shea butter, and castor oil. Anyway, the fact of just drinking at least a cup of coffee a day was associated with a lower risk of death from cancer. Coffee is a really popular beverage, and it's been studied extensively for its many health benefits. But coffee in moderation, like 3 to 4 cups a day, has been associated with several health benefits and is generally considered safe for most adults. Opinions on coffee, though, can vary pretty greatly. Like, many consider it healthy and energizing, which I might be one of those people. But others claim it's addictive and harmful. So what are your overall thoughts on coffee? I would love to hear it, even if it contradicts everything I just said. I'm still interested to hear what you think about coffee. Well, this soap batter looks good enough to me. Let's move on with our process. Splitting it into 2 different containers because I'm turning this 2-pound batch into 2 1-pound batches, as I attempted to communicate to you in the intro, but I think I failed at that. And this is because I wanted some more variety. See, this is more simple soaps, you see. Well, first of all, I collected too many Pringle cans, and I haven't been using them, so I need to use them. I'm trying to clear out my kitchen because my husband and I are leaving early tomorrow morning for Chicago, because that's where my sister-in-law is getting married. She's getting married this Saturday. And then I am hosting Thanksgiving for the in-laws next week, and so I'm needing to, particularly straighten up the house. Not that the house is disorderly at all, because I like to keep a pretty neat house, but just living in a house. I guess you could say my house looks like it's lived in, but it's not messy. I don't know if that makes sense, but you kind of just start laying stuff around. I have been collecting these Pringle cans for like a couple years, so I have 12 Pringle cans to use up. So during this batch I'm using up 4. So I basically need to do this again twice. But empty Pringle cans in your kitchen is kind of unsightly, so I was just trying to use them up. But yes, I am going to be the one making the turkey this year and the other main courses. It's only minorly stressful. Alright, the first batch I am going to be making here, if you see in the background there, I've got my fragrance oils and I've got them weighed out. It's 0.5 or just a little bit more because it's hard to get exact if you're not completely careful, but it's about 0.5 ounces of fragrance oil. per 1-pound batch of soap. We are starting with the black raspberry vanilla. And I don't have any additives to this soap, if you didn't notice. I didn't say it, but really the only, quote, special ingredient in this soap is the coffee. That's my cellar there. And then it's just, like I say, it's a simple soap. It's a simple coffee soap, but it doesn't smell like coffee. So we've added our black raspberry vanilla fragrance oil, and we're going to stick blend it to make sure it is completely incorporated and that I don't have concentrations of fragrance oil. I've got such issues with putting bubbles in my batter. It's an unending struggle with me. Look at these bubbles. Oh well. Here's our first Pringle can. I had to label the Pringle cans because otherwise the only distinction here is the smell. But this is Pringle can number 1, black raspberry vanilla. It doesn't quite fill up to the top. 1 pound doesn't quite finish it. Looks like it might be like a 1 1/4 pound soap mold. Okay, well, we're finished with that one. The next batch we're going to put together is the lavender chamomile, or chamomile. It's got a nice, crisp, clear fragrance oil. Very white, clear, nice. And we're going to go ahead and stick blend this again, attempting to get the bubbles out of the bell of the stick blender. And our next lavender chamomile Pringle can, whatever. It's going to look identical to what I just did, so not that interesting. Well, how's about we move on to our second batch? Here goes our coffee lye. This batch I have labeled as my lard bar, even though it is not a 100% lard batch. The future, I plan to do something with lard, but I just have been putting it off for some reason. Next year, I will. Anyways, 50% of the oils here is lard. Then the others mixed in with it is coconut oil, olive oil, and castor oil to add a bit of extra luxury to the bar. And just as before, I am separating this into 2 little 1 pound batches. If you're still here, I'm really impressed, and I'd love to know if you're still here. Just leave me a comment saying, yep, still here, or just leave it within your comment. I don't know what your comment strategies are, but just curious if you're still here. If you are still here and you continue to remain here, there will be an offer of a something at the end of the video. So our fragrance oil we're going to use for this batch is Irish Pipe. It's actually a combination of oils that I made. It's a combination of green Irish tweed and Santa's pipe to make Irish Pipe. It could be considered kind of masculine, but I don't know. I think it's good. I like it. And stick blending once again, just to reassure myself and you that the fragrance oil is well incorporated into the batter. I think I did forget to mention that there is a layer of cling wrap under the lid. I didn't really show it, but there's cling wrap under the lid of the Pringles can to help hopefully avoid leakage. Last time I made Pringles can soap, I had some leakage. Not this time. Finished with that one. And our final batch with Cinnamon Supreme. A very good fragrance oil. I am a fan. No vanillin. Very cinnamony. I approve. Stick blend, Pringles can, and pour. Bet you're glad this is finally over, huh? Alright, this is our black raspberry vanilla first. I unintentionally deleted the footage of me unmolding these. Apologies, but next time I make these Pringle can soaps, I will make sure I don't delete the unmolding footage. There's not going to be a whole lot to see, so I might speed through this real quick. And if there's anything notable, I will note it to you. Now we have lavender chamomile. And Boris is crying in the background. His life is so hard. Actually, he's telling me he wants me to fill his Kong. One of those Kongs that you fill with treats so that he can... Wow. Well, that flashlight's making your eyes glow, aren't you? Something. Did you need something? Boy, we need to take the flashlight off when we look at you, don't we? Do you have your Kong there? Is that your Kong? Yeah? What do you want me to do with it? Anyway, I guess you're just gonna have to cry until I'm done putting soap, Boris. Yeah, he's throwing it at my feet. Goodness. Next is the Irish pipe. Harder, different recipe. So it's a little bit harder. Wow, Boris, come on now. And then our final one of Cinnamon Supreme. Probably the least flawed of the 4 batches. It is bright and early the next morning after cutting the soap. So with these round bars, you know how you bevel square bars of soap? Well, you can't really bevel these round bars unless you have a special tool, which I don't. So all you do, which I did this last night, but you just run your finger around the edges to smooth it, because it is much more comfortable to use a soap that doesn't have sharp edges. So we've smoothed our edges. Now, to stamp these soaps, you could just stamp it right here. That would be the easiest way, but I like to stamp them on the side. Well, how do you stamp a round bar of soap when your stamp is square? Well, of course, it's easy. Rubbing alcohol, this helps the stamp from sticking to your soap and then pulling pieces of your soap off. Stamp right down in the middle. So right now there's only part of my stamp being stamped. And then you roll it. And then you have a stamp on your rounded bar of soap. Let's do it one more time. There's still rubbing alcohol on my stamp, so I'm not going to bother spraying it again. Stamp down the middle, and then roll one way and roll the other way. And we've got our stamp. These are quite imperfect bars of soap, but I like them. I'm looking forward to trying each of these. I've already stamped all of my other ones. I have a few samples. Not very many samples. These ones are going to be like thank you bars because they're pretty good size. These will be thank yous for... So here's an edge I didn't clean. See that? See how sharp that would be if I let it cure that way? That's not desirable. You want smooth edges. This is all I do. But these would be thank you bars for people who make like larger purchases. So this would be a sample. This is a pretty thick sample. See my uneven, this was the top, you know, where it was pouring in. Very unsymmetrical, but it's a good size sample bar. Anyway, let's do our outro, shall we? I'll look at you and tell you something. Well, I'd say that went pretty successfully. Got our 4 batches of soap here. They all look slightly different. Coffee. The least flawed, like I think I already said, turned out to be the cinnamon batch. It has the smoothest edges and just looks better than the others. Here we've got the Irish pipe, the one that discolored to a yellow, kind of a yellowy brown. Here we've got the lavender chamomile. Pretty. The sides are kind of, you usually hear Boris crying in the background. He cries like a lot. Oh, and then this is the black raspberry vanilla. Got confused for a second. I didn't recognize it. So yeah, not bad. Yes, I did put up my Christmas decorations the day that I said I was going to. You may have already noticed the two penguins dressed in winter gear and are in love. Would you like to see my Christmas tree? Maybe I'll show ya. Let's go look. Yeah, let me get you out of here. My tree is always topped with a star because that's how it always was at home. Here is an ornament made by my sister-in-law, Jan. I don't remember what Christmas it was that she made that for us, but that's our wedding date. With a couple of doves. If you ever seen Home Alone, you'll remember the turtle doves, Bart. Here we've got Penguin with a Christmas tree. Hanging out with his penguin friend here on the Christmas tree. Here's another, a lazy penguin here. An R for my last name. Another penguin. Another penguin. There's some sort of penguin theme. Oh, there's a Scotty. That's for Boris. We got a musical treble clef. This is an ornament I made. That is the kanji for rat, which is kanji is the Chinese lettering. Let's see, over here we've got a Scotty pulling a sleigh with a little boy on it. I say that's Aaron, and that's Boris. And here's another Scotty, and a white Scotty, and a black Scotty, and another penguin, and another penguin. My bulbs that I use are antiques. I did break one this year, unfortunately. Penguin, Frosty the Snowman. Oh, let's see, there's another musical ornament. There's me, and an antique bulb there. Here's a Christmas tree made out of spools of thread. Here is it's not a Scotty, it looks a little more like a schnauzer or something, and a stocking. Here is two little bears in a wagon that says Noel. A bear on a sled sliding right off the branch. You better look out. Here is a Boyd Bear Christmas ornament. My mom and my aunts both used to collect Boyd Bears. And I guess inherited this Boyd Bear Noel. Oh, let's see. That's about all the mentionables, I guess. So that's I guess I could back up and show it from a distance, huh? Make sure I don't run into anything. Yeah, we have snow too. That makes it even more festive. And there are already presents under the tree. Aaron and I are pretty good about collecting presents throughout the year so that we're ready. And we don't have to scramble to get Christmas decoration or Christmas gifts. Shall we say a closer hello to the rats than we did before? They got a big old t-shirt to play in. This is Wesker. He's my biggest rat at the moment. This is Gordon. He's my first pink rat. I guess you could say naked rat, hairless rat. You need to clean your eye out, honey bunny. Down here we have Hans. And Sebastian is on the second level. There's a ramp that connects the two levels. Should we say a closer hello, Sebastian? Hang on tight. Hang on tight. Hi, little boy. Hello. And while I'm making this video, Boris is hanging out. Hey, Boris. Oh, hello. Do we need to brush your beard? Look at that beard. Do we need to brush your beard? Looks like we do. Your beard is kind of messy. Do we need to brush it? Isn't he so cute? Should we brush your beard? I love you, Boris. I love you. I love you. Anyway, we'll go ahead and end the video. Uh-oh, I'm getting a rat loose in the house. What am I going to do about this? Wesker, you can't be getting loose. You can't be getting loose. Oh, by the way, I have pet rats. All right, we'll say goodbye with Wesker and the Christmas tree. Okay, Wesker? Yeah, thank you for the kisses. Thanks for watching this far. Oh, and if you really have watched this far, you are particularly kind, and I wanted to offer to send you a Christmas card. So, if you would like a Christmas card from me, no strings attached, I just need an address, a name and an address from you. Don't write it in the YouTube comments. Send me an email at nezumisoaps@gmail.com. Yes, nezumisoaps@gmail.com. Send me a name and address, and I will send you a Christmas card. I'm serious. I'm absolutely serious. Right, Boris? I don't kid around, do I? All right. See you guys later.